Stop right there. Before you grab that loaf of bread on your next grocery run, you need to see this, because what I'm about to reveal will completely change how you look at the bread aisle forever. Some of America's most trusted bread brands are hiding ingredients so shocking, so processed, and so far from actual bread that our great-grandparents wouldn't even recognize them as food. We're talking about loaves packed with industrial chemicals, preservatives that are banned in other countries, and enriched flour that's been stripped of all nutrition and then artificially pumped with synthetic vitamins. Meanwhile, the bread industry has been playing the ultimate shell game, convincing you that their factory-made, chemical-laden products are somehow wholesome family staples. But here's the truth that Big Bread doesn't want you to know. Not all bread is created equal. While some brands are literally poisoning your sandwiches with laboratory-created ingredients, others are quietly making bread the way it's supposed to be made, with real ingredients you can actually pronounce. Today, we're ranking America's most famous bread brands from absolute worst to surprisingly best. And trust me, some of these rankings will shock you. That healthy whole wheat bread you've been buying, it might be worse than white bread. That artisan loaf you thought was premium, it could be packed with the same chemicals as the cheapest store brand. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which bread brands are fooling you and which ones are actually worth your money. Your sandwiches, your health, and your family's well-being depend on it. Hey bread lovers, welcome back to the channel where we slice through the food industry's lies and serve you the truth about what's really in your food. I've spent years investigating America's most popular food brands, and let me tell you, the bread aisle is one of the most deceptive sections in the entire grocery store. I've analyzed ingredient lists that read like chemistry textbooks, talked to former employees of major bread manufacturers, reviewed FDA reports on food additives, and even visited commercial bakeries to see how these products are really made. What I discovered will change how you think about that simple loaf of bread forever. The American bread industry is a $14 billion market built on convincing families that their processed, chemical-laden products are somehow nutritious staples. They've perfected the art of making industrial foam taste like bread, synthetic vitamins seem like nutrition, and preservatives appear necessary for freshness, all while charging you premium prices for ingredients that cost pennies to produce. Today's video covers the brands you see everywhere: Wonder Bread, Pepperidge Farm, Dave's Killer Bread, and many more. We're talking about the loaves that line every grocery store shelf, the ones advertised as healthy and natural, and yes, even some of the artisan brands that charge extra for the same industrial processes wrapped in fancier packaging. But here's the thing, I'm not anti-bread. Bread has been a staple food for thousands of years, real bread. The difference is, I want to make sure that when you're feeding your family, you're actually giving them bread, not a science experiment disguised as a sandwich foundation. Ready to discover which bread brands are the worst offenders and which ones are actually worth buying. Let's dive into the bread aisle and expose the truth about America's most popular loaves. Number 11. Wonder Bread Classic White. We're starting at the absolute bottom with Wonder Bread Classic White, the loaf that's been fooling American families since 1921 and represents everything wrong with industrial bread production. What's really inside? Wonder Bread isn't bread, it's edible foam made from industrial chemicals. The first ingredient is enriched flour, which means they've stripped all the nutrients out of wheat and then artificially added back synthetic vitamins. But that's just the beginning of this ingredient nightmare. Wonder Bread contains high fructose corn syrup, because apparently bread needs to be sweet, soybean oil, salt, yeast, and then the chemical parade begins. Calcium sulfate, ammonium sulfate, calcium carbonate, monocalcium phosphate, sodium stearoyl lactylate, and azotocarbonamide. That last ingredient, it's also used in yoga mats and shoe rubber. It's banned in Europe and Australia, but it's perfectly legal in American bread. The preservative overload of Wonder Bread is designed to sit on shelves for weeks without molding, which requires an enormous amount of preservatives. You'll find calcium propionate, sodium benzoate, and other chemicals that extend shelf life, but have been linked to various health issues, including behavioral problems in children. The texture tells the story. Wonder Bread has that distinctive spongy, bouncy texture that's nothing like real bread. You can literally squeeze a slice into a ball and it will bounce back. That's not bread, that's industrial foam designed to hold sandwich fillings without providing any nutritional value. Why it's the worst? Wonder Bread represents the complete industrialization of a basic food. It's made with the cheapest possible ingredients, pumped full of chemicals, and designed for maximum shelf life and profit margins rather than nutrition or taste. taste. The fact that it contains yoga mat chemicals should tell you everything you need to know about what you're feeding your family. Number 10. Sunbeam white bread. Sunbeam is Wonder Bread's equally terrible cousin, another industrial loaf that prioritizes shelf life over actual food quality. The ingredient disaster, Sunbeam contains the same problematic ingredients as Wonder Bread: enriched flour, high fructose corn syrup, soybean oil, and a cocktail of chemical additives including calcium sulfate, ammonium sulfate, and azotocarbonamide, the yoga mat chemical. The fake nutrition, like Wonder Bread, Sunbeam is enriched with synthetic vitamins to replace the nutrients that were stripped out during processing. This isn't nutrition, it's industrial fortification designed to meet minimum legal requirements while using the cheapest possible ingredients. Why it ranks here: Sunbeam is essentially Wonder Bread with different packaging, same industrial process, same chemical additives, same complete lack of nutritional value. It's cheap, it's convenient, and it's slowly poisoning anyone who eats it regularly. Number 9. Pepperidge Farm white sandwich bread. This one might surprise you because Pepperidge Farm markets itself as premium and traditional, but their white sandwich bread is just as processed and chemical laden as the cheaper brands. The premium deception: Pepperidge Farm's white bread contains enriched flour, water, sugar, soybean oil, salt, yeast, and then the chemical additives: calcium sulfate, ammonium sulfate, calcium carbonate, monocalcium phosphate, and sodium stearoyl lactylate. The only difference between this and Wonder Bread is the packaging and the price. The marketing versus reality. Pepperidge Farm built their brand on the image of traditional baking and quality ingredients, but their mass-produced breads are made in the same industrial facilities using the same chemical processes as every other major brand. You're paying premium prices for the same industrial bread with fancier marketing. Why it's disappointing? Pepperidge Farm proves that premium pricing doesn't equal premium ingredients. They've traded on their reputation while quietly adopting the same cost-cutting, chemical-heavy processes as their cheaper competitors. Number 8. Sara Lee Classic White Bread. Sara Lee markets itself as "nobody doesn't like Sara Lee," but after seeing their ingredient list, you might change your mind. The industrial ingredients: Sara Lee white bread contains enriched flour, water, high fructose corn syrup, soybean oil, salt, yeast, and the usual suspects: calcium sulfate, ammonium sulfate, calcium carbonate, and sodium stearoyl lactylate. It's the same industrial formula with different branding. The sweetness problems: Sara Lee bread is noticeably sweet due to the high fructose corn syrup. Bread shouldn't be sweet, it should taste like wheat and yeast. The added sweetness is designed to make the bread more appealing and potentially addictive, especially to children. Why it ranks here? Sara Lee represents the complete commoditization of bread. It's made with the cheapest ingredients, enhanced with chemicals, and marketed as a family staple. There's nothing special about it except the marketing budget. Number 7. Nature's Own honey wheat bread. Nature's Own tries to position itself as healthier with names like honey wheat, but don't be fooled by the marketing. The whole wheat deception: Nature's Own honey wheat contains enriched flour as the first ingredient, not whole wheat flour. This means you're getting the same stripped processed flour as white bread, just with a little whole wheat flour added for color and marketing purposes. The honey lie. The honey in this bread is actually high fructose corn syrup and sugar, with a tiny amount of honey added for flavor and marketing. Real honey wheat bread would use actual honey as a primary sweetener, not industrial corn syrup. The chemical additives: you'll find the same industrial chemicals as other mass-produced breads: calcium sulfate, ammonium sulfate, sodium stearoyl lactylate, and preservatives. The natural name is pure marketing. There's nothing natural about these ingredients. Why it's misleading? Nature's Own represents the worst kind of food marketing, using healthy sounding names and imagery to sell the same industrial products. Consumers think they're making a healthier choice, but they're getting the same processed bread with slightly different marketing. Number 6. Arnold Country White Bread. Arnold, known as Oro Wheat on the West Coast, positions itself as a step up from basic white bread, but the reality is disappointing. The ingredient mediocrity Arnold Country White contains enriched flour, water, sugar, soybean oil, salt, yeast, and the standard industrial additives, calcium sulfate, ammonium sulfate, and various emulsifiers. It's marginally better than the worst offenders, but still relies on processed flour and chemical additives. The texture improvement Arnold bread does have a slightly better texture than Wonder Bread or Sunbeam. It's less spongy and more bread-like, but this improvement comes from different chemical formulations, not better ingredients. Why it's middle of the road? Arnold represents the middle tier of industrial bread, slightly better than the worst offenders, but still fundamentally a processed product made with cheap ingredients and chemical additives. Number 5. Pepperidge Farm Whole Grain Breads. Pepperidge Farm's whole grain varieties are significantly better than their white bread, showing what the company can do when they try. The whole grain advantage: these breads actually contain whole wheat flour as the first ingredient, which means you're getting some of the fiber, vitamins, and minerals that were stripped out of enriched flour. The ingredient lists are shorter and contain fewer chemical additives. The seed and grain additions. Many varieties contain real seeds, grains, and nuts that add nutrition, flavor, and texture. These aren't artificial flavors or chemical enhancers. They're real food ingredients that improve the bread's nutritional profile. Why it's better? When Pepperidge Farm focuses on whole grains and real ingredients, they can produce decent bread. It's still mass-produced and contains some unnecessary additives, but it's a significant improvement over their white bread varieties. Number 4. Arnold/Oro Wheat Whole Grain Breads. Arnold's whole grain varieties represent a significant step up from their white bread offerings. The real whole grains. These breads contain whole wheat flour, whole grain oats, and other whole grains as primary ingredients. You're getting actual nutrition, not just synthetic vitamins added to processed flour. The cleaner ingredient lists. While still mass-produced, Arnold's whole grain breads have shorter ingredient lists with fewer chemical additives. They rely more on real ingredients for flavor and texture. The fiber benefit. With 3 to 4 grams of fiber per slice, these breads provide actual nutritional benefits. Fiber is essential for digestive health and helps regulate blood sugar, benefits you don't get from processed white bread. Why it's respectable? Arnold's whole grain breads prove that mass-produced bread can be decent when companies use real ingredients. It's not artisan quality, but it's honest bread that provides nutrition and satisfaction. Number 3. Ezekiel 4:9 Sprouted Grain Bread. Now we're getting into the good stuff. Ezekiel bread represents a completely different approach to bread making, one that prioritizes nutrition and real ingredients. The sprouted grain advantage Ezekiel bread is made from sprouted grains and legumes, which increases the bioavailability of nutrients and creates a complete protein. The sprouting process breaks down anti-nutrients and makes the bread easier to digest. The clean ingredient list: Ezekiel bread contains organic sprouted wheat, organic sprouted barley, organic sprouted millet, organic sprouted lentils, organic sprouted soybeans, organic sprouted spelt, filtered water, fresh yeast, and sea salt. That's it. No chemicals, no preservatives, no artificial anything. The nutritional powerhouse. With complete proteins, high fiber content, and a low glycemic index, Ezekiel bread is more like a superfood than regular bread. It provides sustained energy without blood sugar spikes. The texture and taste: Ezekiel bread is dense, hearty, and satisfying. It tastes like real grain and has a substantial texture that makes you feel full with fewer slices. This is what bread is supposed to be like. Why it's excellent. Ezekiel bread proves that bread can be both nutritious and delicious when made with real ingredients and traditional techniques. It's more expensive than industrial bread, but you're paying for actual nutrition and quality. Number 2. Dave's Killer Bread Organic Varieties. Dave's Killer Bread has revolutionized the mass market bread industry by proving that you can make healthy, delicious bread on a large scale. The organic commitment: Dave's organic varieties are made with organic whole wheat flour, organic cane sugar, organic sunflower oil, and organic seeds and grains. No synthetic pesticides, no GMOs, no artificial preservatives. The seed and grain explosion: Dave's breads are packed with real seeds and grains. Sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, flax seeds, quinoa, and more. These aren't just for show. They add significant nutritional value, healthy fats, and protein. The texture perfection: Dave's has mastered the art of making healthy bread that doesn't taste like cardboard. Their breads are moist, flavorful, and satisfying, with a perfect balance of seeds, grains, and bread texture. The variety without compromise. From 21 whole grains and seeds to Good Seed, Dave's offers multiple varieties that maintain the same commitment to quality ingredients. Each variety is carefully formulated to provide maximum nutrition and flavor. The mass market success, Dave's proves that healthy bread can be successful in mainstream grocery stores. They've shown that consumers will pay more for quality when the quality is real and the taste delivers. Why it's nearly perfect, Dave's Killer Bread represents the best of both worlds. The convenience and availability of mass-produced bread with the quality and nutrition of artisan bread. It's what all bread should aspire to be. Number 1. Local artisan bakery breads. And the best bread you can buy isn't from a major brand at all. It's from your local artisan bakery that makes real bread with real ingredients using traditional methods. The real ingredient advantage: artisan bakeries use simple, real ingredients: flour, water, salt, and yeast. Maybe some seeds, grains, or herbs for variety. No chemicals, no preservatives, no industrial additives. Just the ingredients that have been used to make bread for thousands of years. The traditional methods, artisan bakers use long fermentation processes that develop complex flavors and make the bread easier to digest. They don't rely on chemical dough conditioners or artificial flavor enhancers. They let time and technique create the perfect loaf. The freshness factor: artisan bread is made fresh daily, often multiple times per day. You're getting bread that was baked hours ago, not weeks ago. The difference in taste, texture, and aroma is immediately obvious. The variety and creativity: local bakeries can experiment with unique grains, seeds, and flavor combinations that would never make it through corporate focus groups. Sourdough with ancient grains, rye with caraway, whole wheat with sunflower seeds. The possibilities are endless. The community connection. When you buy from local bakeries, you're supporting your local economy, preserving traditional food crafts, and getting to know the people who make your food. There's accountability and pride that doesn't exist in industrial food production. The superior nutrition: real bread made with whole grains and traditional fermentation provides better nutrition than any industrial bread. The long fermentation breaks down anti-nutrients, increases mineral absorption, and creates beneficial compounds that support digestive health. How to find them? Look for local bakeries, farmers markets, food co-ops, and specialty grocery stores. Many artisan bakers also sell their bread through community-supported agriculture (CSA) programs or online ordering. Why their number 1: local artisan breads represent everything that's right about food: real ingredients, traditional methods, community connection, and passion for quality. When you support local bakers, you're not just buying bread, you're investing in a food system that prioritizes quality over quantity, craftsmanship over convenience, and real food over processed substitutes. Bonus section: how to choose better bread. Now that you know which brands to avoid and which ones are worth buying, let's talk about how to navigate the bread aisle like a pro. 1. Read the ingredient list first. The first ingredient should be whole wheat flour or whole grain flour, not enriched flour. If you see enriched flour, you're looking at processed bread that's been stripped of nutrients and artificially fortified. 2. Look for short ingredient lists. Good bread doesn't need many ingredients: flour, water, salt, yeast, and maybe some seeds or grains. If the ingredient list is longer than 10 items, you're probably looking at an industrial product. 3. Avoid chemical additives. Stay away from breads containing azotocarbonamide, yoga mat chemical, calcium sulfate, ammonium sulfate, sodium stearoyl lactylate, and other industrial additives. These chemicals are used to create consistent texture and extend shelf life, but they have no place in real bread. 4. Check the fiber content. Good whole grain bread should have at least 3 grams of fiber per slice. If it has less than 2 grams, it's probably made mostly from processed flour with just enough whole grains for marketing purposes. 5. Avoid high fructose corn syrup. Bread shouldn't be sweet. If you see high fructose corn syrup, or excessive amounts of sugar, you're looking at a processed product designed to be addictive rather than nutritious. 6. Look for organic when possible. Organic bread is made without synthetic pesticides, GMOs, or artificial preservatives. While not all non-organic bread is bad, organic certification provides some assurance about ingredient quality. 7. Consider sprouted grain options. Sprouted grain breads like Ezekiel are more nutritious and easier to digest than regular whole grain breads. The sprouting process increases nutrient availability and creates complete proteins. 8. Support local when you can. Local artisan bakeries often produce the highest quality bread with the cleanest ingredients. It costs more, but you're paying for real craftsmanship and superior nutrition. So there you have it, America's most famous bread brands ranked from absolute worst to surprisingly best. The bread aisle doesn't have to be a minefield of industrial chemicals and processed ingredients. You just need to know what to look for and what to avoid. Remember, bread has been a staple food for thousands of years, but only recently has it become a vehicle for industrial chemicals and artificial additives. Real bread is simple: flour, water, salt, and yeast. Everything else is just food industry manipulation designed to increase profits and shelf life at the expense of your health. The difference between the worst and best breads isn't just about taste, it's about supporting food systems that prioritize nutrition over profit, real ingredients over chemical substitutes, and traditional craftsmanship over industrial efficiency. When you choose quality bread, you're voting with your wallet for a better food system. Every sandwich you make, every piece of toast you eat, every dinner roll you serve is an opportunity to choose real food over processed imitations. Your body knows the difference, even if your taste buds have been trained to accept artificial flavors and chemical textures. Don't let clever marketing and nostalgic packaging fool you into thinking that industrial bread is somehow normal or acceptable. Our great-grandparents would be horrified by what we call bread today. But the good news is that real bread still exists. You just need to know where to find it and be willing to pay for quality. If this video changed how you think about bread, smash that like button and subscribe for more food industry exposés. Drop a comment below and let me know which bread brand ranking shocked you the most, and what's your go-to bread now that you know the truth. Until next time, choose real ingredients, support local bakers when possible, and never settle for industrial foam when you can have real bread. Your sandwiches and your health will never be the same. If you thought this bread investigation was eye-opening, wait until you see our expose on what's really in America's most popular breakfast cereals. From pesticide residues that exceed safety limits to artificial colors banned in other countries, we're revealing the shocking truth about the foods millions of Americans pour milk on every morning. Click right here to watch and prepare to never look at the cereal aisle the same way again.